do this. Hey guys, and welcome to another chapter of the Malt Chronicles. Winston is right here next to me because it was my turn. So boys. Woo, interesting. I heard what you had to say. It's very interesting. But are you ready?
No.
Are you ready?
Listen,
It's always no. It's always
just
no. Come
open
on.
the goddamn box.
Alright, here we go. Ready? And it is. Boom!
Now, how?
Whoa! Whoa!
Yep, that's the one. That's the one.
Oh! Yes.
Okay.
So, let's just see how these boys got on at the blind tasting earlier on today.
That's so tempting. Like you knows it and you want to drink it. I'm salivating already.
Okay.
Oh. Now that's an interesting nose.
Smells like early autumn. Wet leaves, mushrooms.
Yeah, there is this earthy sort of potato character from this.
Mm-hmm.
Potato chips, like crisps.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I say a dance of fudge and caramel in a hot pan with a pinch of salt? Probably mention something like corn syrup.
Mass-produced sort of character. So I don't know. It's kind of this slight little bit of plastic I might be picking out in there. I think. Yeah, there is these citrus characters coming through now.
Yeah, I'm gonna taste it. It's like a swing of flavors. Some pear skin, a bunch of salt. There's loads of salt in it.
Wood spices. Ah, lovely wood spices. Rich, all tingly around the tongue. Loving that. But like an old wood, so I would say that this is been matured stock. So there is matured stock in this dram, definitely.
I wanna say by the sea. Rivers of fudge coming straight from the sea. Walnut, but dried walnuts.
A slight mossy character, I would say, on the palate. And there is a slight, now this is very subtle sort of smoky character to it, but only subtle if there is one.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't describe it like an Isla.
I think this is by the sea, as there is this salty fudge. It's definitely matured stock and there's some sherry presence in here. It's non-chill filtered.
Unless it's something on Isla that's just a bit different, but it's mossy, so, and it reminds me of coastal sort of characters. So I would say perhaps definitely the Highlands and that sort. I'd say this is definitely 40% spirit.
There's a lot of warehouse presence. It almost smells like bricks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say that, but
Mm-hmm.
like wet warehouses.
I'd buy it about 55 pounds.
80. I think it's matured, that's why.
That 3.5, almost a 4, but not quite. So I'm gonna go 3.5.
4.5.
So yes, the Bunnahabhain 18, in case you can't see it, is right there. My precious. So boys, let's get straight into it. On the flavors, well, you was picking up some really interesting flavors there, young David.
Yeah,
So you was talking about mossy, and you was talking about, what was one of the things you said, plastic?
there was a slight warm plastic on the nose.
Okay.
Not on the taste,
Uh-huh.
on the nose.
Mhm.
On the nose there's a slight warm plastic.
Warm plastic.
Man, these amateurs.
Alright, so
No, I'm just kidding.
There is definitely,
Go for it, please.
definitely a salty presence into
Mhm.
that. A
Oh, yeah,
sea
absolutely.
presence into that.
100%. 100%. And the reason why you're going to have that big C present in that, because actually where it is based, it's actually from Isla, but it's right up in the north part of Isla. And it's right on the coastal line. And Bunnahabhain, they just are so proud to say that they're one of the most least peatiest whiskies out there in Isla.
Yeah, they
don't really use that much peat in their process.
They have
do
some
they?
expressions that are peated, but
Yeah.
predominantly it's all unpeated.
Yeah, so this one being 18 years, the actual maturation that this has gone through is 60% bourbon cask and 40% sherry cask.
That's a lot of
And
sherry.
there's a lot of sherry
That's a lot of
influence
sherry.
in there, and you do get those. So with that saying there, I do get that sort of nuttiness that you get from the sherry cask, I'm definitely getting like, I don't really talk about the wintry fruits like the sultanas and dates, which are obvious. But for me, do you know when you have a plum which is being bruised and that smell it gives off of, that winey note that it gives off of? That's what I get with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you say. Well, to me, it's all fudge and it's autumnal. It's like going into a forest in the morning. Is that the old bottle that we...
This is the old bottling. It's a very enjoyable whiskey. Now, you said it was 40%, but this is non-chill filtered whiskey.
Okay.
So it is 46.3%. And that robust flavour that we're all getting that from the spirit. Do you know that the shape of the stills is really funny? They look like pears. But the giant, massive, robust spirits they
That's
come
why
from.
they taste like birds.
Yeah.
So stills that look like onions, they taste like...
What?
Did he genuinely? You guys heard that? Quote from the nose.
Oh man, I really enjoy this whiskey. It's a really fine whiskey. Definitely get those beautiful salty notes. Salted caramel for me, but real. When you talk about that river, and then you talked about the fudge and the caramel and that salty, the walnuts, it was just like everything was just saying. I was like, yeah, he's got an inkling. And Vas, did you have an inkling?
Yeah. You had this whiskey for a long time, and
it has been
we were seeing it every now and then, but I did not expect we're gonna finish it together. Anyway, this is the old packaging.
Yes, the old
recently
packaging.
Changed the packaging.
They
Now
did
it's coming
recently.
in a tube.
Yeah, it's coming in tube. And talk about tube. It's funny because we talk about this one being a unpeated expression, but Vas, can you just give me those glasses over there? I do actually have this here. Oh, that we can compare it against, which is actually a peated, expression. Vas, can you do the honors of pronouncing the name of that? I could not read that name.
No.
So this is from the Travel Retail. And this is actually a quite as a peated expression from Bunnahabhain. And this is one of the only ones that I know of that they do which is peated. And we're just going to do a quick comparison.
This boy is full of surprises.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
There you go. Alright, so this is non-chill filtered as well. It's from Travel Retail. And it hasn't got an age statement on it. And it's actually 50% on ABV. So wow, that's going to be a strong one.
You do on the nose straight away get much more of the maritime sort of salty character.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the spicy wood note that I pick out on the 18 isn't apparent in here. It's more. It's definitely younger. It's got that more salty character and that more peaty character definitely shines through there.
Absolutely. So as they say, cilantro or cheers.
Cheers.
Let's just try this,
Cheers.
shall we?
I'm gonna try the 18 first one more time just to remember it.
Just quickly, good idea.
Oh man, this 18 is so good. It's like butter, drinking liquid butter.
Oh, that's good.
It's gorgeous. Right, here we go, ready? Definitely getting that peach really coming through now, with, but behind that saltiness.
Oh, yeah. So,
It's actually good.
no, I think from the Travel Retail range that I've tried, that
is
particular one
not
from
bad,
Bunnahabhain
yeah,
is
it's-
Bunnahabhain.
Bunnahabhain.
My bad.
And that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's around 5 years old. This one.
It
quite
was
good.
really wow. Anyway, so do we want to just talk about a little bit about flavors on this one?
I'm gonna start. I would say 18 is, of course, it's much more complex. It's more buttery. It's more nutty. There's way more complexity into it. This is quite young, and probably on a blind, I wouldn't say it's the same distillery.
No.
I don't get that much maritime notes. I get a peat, but I also get more moldy notes in the one we cannot pronounce.
Yeah, the one from Travel Retail, we'll call it. We'll put the name down there, and you can have a go at pronouncing it. So yeah, no, definitely I agree with that. Definitely more complexity coming from the 18. There's more flavors. There's more richness coming from the sherry cask. For me, this is probably more bourbon cask in this influence, and I'm definitely getting more vanilla. But I'm getting some nice salted So I'm getting that salt coming through, even though it's behind. It's before that peaty note. There is definitely a peaty note there, but it's more like a gentle lit fire. We're not talking like the real, say, like medicinal style peated whiskies that we know that come from Islay, like Lafroig, Lagavulin, Ardbeg. It's not that, for sure.
I mentioned that there was a mossy character that I picked out in this on the blind tasting. In this, as I say, it is so apparent. Like the first thing I get is the peat, then you get that salty character, then this mossy after note, but it's so apparent here. Whereas here it was subtle, it was very light. There was almost a hint of it. There was more wood that I got from the 18-year-old. So all these spicy wood notes that were really nice.
Okay, in conclusion, would we prefer to see Bunnahabhain as an unpeated or as a peated version?
Tough question. Do you know what? I like it when the distilleries play with different expressions and they be a bit more experimental. So I don't mind a Bunnahabhain using a peated expression, but I would like to see more mature stock because, as you say, this is quite young. That would be interesting to me.
So for me, I mean, there's no comparison. The 18 is definitely the superior spirit.
It is definitely.
But it's an 18 versus a 5-year-old. What other brand would we compare the two whiskies?
No, think of this.
If this was peated, I could imagine this still being a very nice.
Forget this. Forget 18. Take the 12.
Okay.
If you would compare the 12 with something like that.
I think I prefer the unpeated versions that they produce.
Yeah.
I do prefer them, but I like that they can still produce them.
I think that's what separates them from the rest of the crowd, from Islay, is them being them not using that heavily peated character.
There's something romantic in that, something romantic and something naughty.
Yeah.
Being an Islay distillery and making unpeated
whiskey. Absolutely. So, boys, did you like that little surprise I had for you?
I was not expecting that. That was a shocker.
Whilst we do some brass tacks and we do some scoring right now, you got any interesting facts for us, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sensei. Right, whiskey fact. History. Mr. George Washington, besides being the first president of the United States and a great leader, he was also a big whiskey fan. Now, George opened the whiskey distillery in 1799, and he was actually the biggest whiskey producer in the country for a while. So there you go. A leader with some taste.
Wow. So we're going to go straight into scoring, and David?
Love the 18. After this is oxidized a little, didn't enjoy as much, but still loved it. And it's going to get a 93, it's going to get a really high score.
It's one of my favorite 18 years old of all time. I still prefer the unpeated version from Bunnahabhain, 93 from me.
Okay, great complexity, great flavour, really delivers on every aspect for me. I gave it a solid 90. Really enjoyed this whiskey a lot. So we're going to put this one here, we're going to put this one here, and we'd like to say, we told you about us, now we want to know about you. Have you tried the Bunnahabhain 18? What did you think of it? Have you tried any more of the expressions from Bunnahabhain? What is your opinions on if you like it peated or unpeated? We would like to know. So hit us up with a comment. Okay, and on that note, I'd like to say a big cheers. And we're Malt Chronicles, and we out.
Hallelujah.